So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to continue the second part of how to make straight A's as a pre-med and undergraduate. So the last thing I left off was on learning how to read appropriately. So the next thing that you need to do to earn straight A's as a pre-med would be to schedule your time appropriately. So for example, if your teacher or professor assigns a long paper that's due in a couple weeks, you need to set a timeline. That's the best idea so you can plan your time efficiently. You can divide the project into smaller pieces so you won't feel overwhelmed. It's like eating a steak. You chew one piece at a time. Don't try to once or you'll choke and there'll be some consequences. Your grade will show. So you need to set a timeline if you have assignments due in a couple weeks, just to break it down, be more efficient. And it'll help you also to relax and not be stressed, and it'll improve your grade. The next tip is very important. I think it's probably one of the most important tips. Will be to take good notes. Taking good notes is key because it's like 75% of what you learn is from your notes, because if you're in a lecture, yeah, it's like 10%, but it's like 40 minutes a week or an hour a week, and the lecture you don't really remember anything. Your notes is what's key. So taking good notes is a very efficient way to help improve your grade and make A's in the class. I mean, reading a textbook is also a good way, but the teachers aren't going to get material from the textbook more likely. They're going to take test material questions from the actual lecturer, so you need to pay attention to the lecture and make sure you take good notes. When you're in reading the textbook is also a good way to learn the material as a prep for the lecture section. So I would read the textbook assignment the night before lecture, and then you have an idea of what's going to be talked about. So if they say something that's not common, you won't be confused. But taking notes is key because the teachers are more likely going to take test material from their notes. Also, you can take notes while reading a text. That will also help. This will help you because when you write it down in your own words, you're making your brain convert the idea into your own words and thoughts, so it'll help you memorize the what you're reading. I did this. I read something, I write down my own notes, I watch videos. You can write down your own notes, but writing your own notes is also an efficient way. So take good notes. It will help you tremendously earn A's in undergraduate. That's probably the number one thing, is to take good notes. So next advice I would have is making straight A's in undergraduate, because in undergraduate for a pre-med or pre-professional, any pre-professional, you have to take labs and you have to write lab reports and some essays and some classes. So cleaning up your act or cleaning up the papers, and also another efficient way to make A's. A sloppy paper is going to look like you're a C student. I'm not going to think, wow, a C student, if you can't even write a paper good enough, you're probably going to get a C on it. Writing the paper last minute is also not a good idea because you don't have time to proofread it, etc. Because I have had an example that a professor has told us that an undergraduate that they've had students that came to them and said, well, I'm an A student, so why did I get a C, or I didn't deserve a C, I'm an A student, or they just told me I'm an A student, and like they've said, well, they thought to themselves, well, the paper you gave me is a C student material, so you're a C student, not an A student. It's because they didn't proofread the paper, they wrote it last minute. So make sure you proofread your paper and look over it in lab reports. Make sure the lab reports are a good portion of your grade. Half your grade, depends on what college you go to, because my college, undergraduate, pre-med, lab was 1 credit and the lecture was 3 credits. Some schools I know, in my undergraduate, all 4 credits, the lab and lecture were together, so you didn't earn a credit for lab. The lab was in your lecture credits, if that's understandable. Like lecture was 4 credits and lab was 0 credits, but your grade was still winning your lecture grade. Some college I know you 3 credits for lecture and then 1 credit for lab, so your lab you have to pass it. It's hard to explain, but just make sure you proofread your lab reports and essays in English, because English is a prerequisite, as I mentioned in my previous video that you can find on my channel, that English is a prerequisite for medical. The next thing is to speak up. So if you don't understand what's going on in your lecture, please ask a teacher. Even during lecture, they say, do we have any questions? Raise your hand and ask. I don't understand, so please explain it to me. Also, you can go to the office hours if you don't feel comfortable asking from the whole lecture class. But you need to speak up if you don't understand. You don't want to get too far behind, because once you go far behind, it's hard to catch up, especially in the harder upper level undergraduate pre-med class. Very difficult. Organic is an example. Do not wait until the test or halfway through the semester and go, I don't understand. They're like, well, why didn't you come before? If you don't understand one lecture, go right after the lecture or a couple days after the lecture and go and speak to them. Speak up, because you do not get behind, because once you get behind, it's way, way, way too hard to catch up, and your grade will show it. The next thing would be study together. So find a study group, preferably 3 to 5 people. More than 5 people, you're not going to be efficient because it will be chit chat and stuff. So 3 to 5 people, you need to have. If you like studying groups, I recommend it. If you like studying alone, then do it alone. But I would try it out and see if you like it first. But studying in groups helps you, because say I'm good at microbiology and my friend in the study group's good at organic, and I can provide my knowledge for microbiology while they can provide their knowledge for organic, and you can test each other, so you don't have 2 people as good at organic and 2 people as good at micro, because you're not really learning. But if you have one person that's good in each subject area, then you're learning from them and you can collaborate and help you improve your grades. Study groups, I would recommend doing this like 2 to 3 times a week, but no more than 5 people. Make sure you don't get more than 5 people because it will be very hectic. And so next I would recommend testing yourself after each lecture. I did this in my vertebrate zoology class and it helped me so much. I mean, I did it in every class, but on this example popped in my head was vertebrate zoology because we had like little notes and notes and notes of material we need to learn, and we had lab stuff. It was like dissections and so much. I also recommend you taking vertebrate because it looks good for medical school. But anyway, after every lecture, I went home and did that day's notes. I rewrote the notes and tested myself. What does this mean? What does this mean? And actually, I don't know if I should say this, but I got like 98s on all my vertebrate tests. So I recommend you testing yourself after each lecture because it helped me tremendously. I almost got 100s on every test. If you test yourself at after each lecture, your grades will go up tremendously. I recommend testing yourself or just reviewing the notes after every lecture, writing them down, asking what does this mean, what does this mean. It helped me so much. So much. And last but not least, do more than you're asked. So say the teacher says, read this section of the text. Go ahead and read the whole chapter if you have time, or that's just an example. Or say the teacher, your calculus professor, which is calculus is required for medical school, but say they assigned 5 problems. Go ahead and do 10 problems. That way, when a test comes, you're like, wow, I actually understand this. And if you don't understand, you can ask them in the class the next day. So do more than you're asked. So this helps you prepare more and prepare for the exams that are coming up. So if you have any questions, please do not be afraid to ask me. And you can either ask me in the comments below, which I recommend because it'll be a faster response, or you can email me in the email address I provided in the description. Thanks for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Stay tuned for more videos to come.